The first time I saw one, I did not see it at all. That is the part nobody tells you. You think you are going to find this huge, swirling monster in the dark, like the pictures. You do not. You find an absence, a piece of the sky that is wrong. Stars behind it bend, like heat off a road in summer, and your eyes keep trying to make sense of the shape, and your brain keeps refusing. And then you realize the thing you are looking for is not a thing. It is a hole, and something is at the bottom of it. Or, actually, that is not quite right. Let me try again. There may not be a bottom at all. That is what I want to talk to you about. What is actually down there? Not the cartoon version, not the movie version. The version the people who study this for a living are still arguing about, in rooms I have sat outside of, listening. You are sitting somewhere on Earth right now, probably indoors, probably comfortable. I want you to think about the chair you are in, the floor under it, the ground under that, all the way down. Eventually you hit rock, and then hotter rock, and then iron, and then a core, and then more rock on the other side, and then sky again. Everything has a bottom. Everything you have ever touched has a bottom. Black holes are the one place in the universe where that sentence might not be true. Stay with me here. I want to walk you down into one, slowly, honestly, the way I had to learn it. Start at the edge. The edge has a name, the event horizon. It is not a wall. It is not a surface. There is nothing there to touch. If you fell toward one in a small ship with the windows open, you would not feel the moment you crossed it. No bump, no flash. You would look around and the stars would still be there, just stretched, just smeared into a ring above you. And that would be the worst part, that you could not tell. The line you crossed was a line about information, about what light can still do. Past that line, no light you make will ever reach anyone outside again. Not your radio, not your screen, not the photons bouncing off your face. I have been close to one of these, at a distance the people who plan these things considered safe. And I want to tell you something. Safe is the wrong word. There is no safe near these. There is only further away. So you are inside now. The horizon is behind you. The stars are a bright ring above your head, and below you is darkness. Not the darkness of empty space. Empty space has stars in it. This is darkness with nothing in it. The first true nothing you have ever seen. And you are falling. You cannot stop. That is the part I had the hardest time with when the team that figured this out first explained it to me. Inside the horizon, falling toward the center is not a direction. It is the future. The way tomorrow is the future for you, right now on your couch. You cannot choose not to go to tomorrow. You cannot fire a thruster and skip a Tuesday. Inside a black hole, the center is your Tuesday. Every direction you point your ship, every engine you fire, every prayer you make, just changes how long the trip takes, not whether you arrive. That one still gets me. So, you are falling. You cannot stop. What is waiting for you? This is where the honest answer starts to break down. And this is where I want you to know I am being careful with you. The math says there is a point at the center, a single point, zero size, infinite density. They call it a singularity. And the people who built that math, the ones who first wrote it down on a chalkboard 100 years ago, did not believe in it. They thought it was the math telling them the math was broken. They thought a real universe could not have a place like that in it. A place where every rule you know stops working. A place where space and time, the floor and the clock, both run out at the same instant. But the math kept being right about everything else. Every prediction it made about how stars die, how light bends, how time slows near heavy things, all of it kept coming true. And so the singularity became the thing in the back of the room nobody wanted to look at directly. Because if it is real, then somewhere, inside every black hole you can see in the sky, there is a place where the universe just stops being a universe. I had to look this up twice. I want you to understand I am not being dramatic. The equations actually do this. They produce infinity. They tell you the curvature of space is infinite, the density is infinite, the tidal forces are infinite. Infinity is not a number. It is the math holding up its hands and saying, I do not know what is here. I cannot help you past this point. So what is actually there? Nobody knows. That is the real answer, and I do not say that to be lazy. I say it because the people who have spent 40 years on this problem will say it to your face if you ask them. We do not know what is at the center of a black hole. We have ideas, we have guesses. Some of them are beautiful, some of them are terrifying. Let me walk you through the ones I find I cannot stop thinking about. The first one is the simplest. Maybe the singularity is exactly what the math says, a point of infinite density, a place where space and time end. If that is true, then there is no bottom in the way you mean bottom. There is just an end, a last moment. You fall, and at some final tick of your watch, there is no next tick. Not darkness, not nothing. The clock just does not have anywhere left to go. That is the version most textbooks still teach. It is also the version most physicists privately think is wrong. Not because they have proof, because of how it feels. Because a universe that contains a point where physics surrenders is a universe that has a hole in its own logic. And the people who study logic for a living do not love holes. The second idea is that the singularity is not a point. It is a stretched out region, a line almost. The newer models, the ones built from rotating black holes instead of perfectly still ones, say the center is not a dot, but a thin ring, spinning. And the math around the ring does something the simple version does not do. It hints at a way through. Past the ring, on the other side, the equations describe a region that looks like a different universe, or a different time, or a different something. Whatever it is, the math says you could, in principle, come out somewhere else. I want to be very clear with you. The physicists I trust do not think you actually could. The path inside a real, dirty, hungry black hole is not stable. Anything that fell in before you, all the radiation and gas and rock and starlight, would be waiting at that ring with you, compressed into a wall of pure energy. You would not pass through. You would join the wall. But the math is there, sitting on a chalkboard, in a building I have walked past, the door to another somewhere, and a wall of fire in front of it. The third idea is the one that scares me the most, and I am going to tell you why in a second. It is the idea that the singularity is not real because the inside of a black hole is not real, not the way the outside is. Some of the people working on this now, the ones working with quantum mechanics and gravity at the same time, suspect that what looks like a smooth fall through a horizon into a smooth dark interior, into a smooth point at the center, is a story, a useful story, a story the universe tells from the outside. And from the inside, there is no inside. There is only a thin shell of information, smeared across the surface of the horizon itself, and everything that ever fell in is written there. Not destroyed, not preserved, encoded, like a hologram. In that picture, you do not fall to a center. You fall onto a wall, and the wall is the bottom, and the bottom is everywhere at once. I know how this sounds, I know. I sat with this one for a long time before I understood why anyone would suggest it. The reason is that it might be the only way to make the universe not lose information. And the universe, as far as anyone can tell, does not lose information. Ever. Not in a fire, not in a star, not in your body when you eventually go. The atoms scatter, the patterns dissolve, but the information about them is still in the universe somewhere, in principle, recoverable. Black holes appear to be the one exception, the one place where things go in and the universe seems to forget them. The hologram idea is the universe refusing to forget. Even there, even in the dark. I find that somehow comforting. I do not know if it is true, but I like a universe that does not forget. Let me bring you back up for a second, out of the hole, back to your couch. Because I think the part most people miss about black holes is how ordinary they are. There are millions of them in our galaxy alone, probably more. Most of them are quiet. They are not eating anything. They are just sitting there, dead stars, drifting, doing the thing every massive object does, which is bend the space around them. There is one at the center of our galaxy, and you and I are, in a slow and gentle way, orbiting it right now. It does not have us. It is not pulling us in. It is just one of the things we go around, the way the Earth goes around the Sun, the way the Moon goes around us. The galaxy you live in is built around a hole in itself, and it is fine. We are fine. The Sun will die long before that thing has anything to say to us. I think about that a lot, actually. I think about how the worst place in the universe, the place where physics gives up, is also the thing our home is hung on, like a coat on a hook, like a city around a cathedral. The thing at the center is unknowable, and the thing at the center is also load-bearing. Without these holes, galaxies might not have formed the way they did. Stars might not have lit. We might not have happened. You exist because somewhere, a long time ago, a thing fell in and never came out. And that emptiness gave the matter around it something to organize itself around. I find that pretty. The pivot for me is here. When I came back from being close to one, I expected to feel haunted. I did, a little, but mostly what I felt was small. And I do not mean small in the bad way. I mean small in the way you feel when you are a kid and you stand at the edge of an ocean and the ocean is doing its thing and it does not need you. And you do not need to be needed, and that is a kind of peace. Black holes do not want anything. They are not waiting for us. They are not coming for us. They are not the villains of any story except the ones we write. They are just places in the sky where the universe got too heavy for itself, and the math we use to describe everything else stops being able to keep up. They are humility made of gravity. They are the universe admitting it does not have to make sense to you. And there is something tender in that. I cannot really explain it any better. Stay with me on this one. Now, the reality check, because I owe you this part. Everything I have told you about the inside of a black hole is, technically, a guess. Educated, informed, constrained by every observation we have made of these objects from the outside. We have watched them eat stars. We have heard them collide. We have taken pictures of their shadows, the donuts of glowing gas around their event horizons. We know they are there. We know how big they are. We know how fast they spin. We know, to extraordinary precision, how matter behaves when it falls toward one. But nobody has been inside one. Nobody can be. The horizon is not a place you visit and report back from. Anything that crosses it stops being able to talk to us forever. So everything past that line is a story we tell with mathematics. And mathematics, even very good mathematics, is not the same as a postcard. The singularity at the center may not be a point. The hologram on the surface may not be how it works. The ring inside a spinning one may not lead anywhere. Quantum gravity, the theory we would need to actually answer this question, does not exist yet. People are working on it, smart people in small offices with whiteboards full of squiggles. They have been working on it for decades. They are getting closer. Maybe in your lifetime, maybe not. What I can tell you, honestly, is that the bottom of a black hole is the single best question we have right now about how the universe actually works. It is the place where our two best descriptions of reality, the very large and the very small, meet and disagree with each other. Whatever is down there, when we figure it out, will probably change everything we thought we knew about space, about time, about what it means for a thing to exist at all. That is a lot to be sitting at the bottom of a hole in the sky. I want you to do something for me before I let you go. Tonight, if you can, go outside. You do not need a clear sky. You do not need to see anything. Just stand there for a minute. The galaxy is above you. It is always above you, even when the sun is up, even when there are clouds. And somewhere near the middle of it, there is a black hole, the mass of 4 million suns. And it is the still point our whole neighborhood turns around. It has been there longer than the Earth. It will be there longer than us. And nobody, not one person who has ever lived, knows what is at the bottom of it. I find that I sleep better knowing the universe still has secrets that big. It means we're not done. It means there is still something out there worth going to find. If you want to sit with me through another one of these, the next one is about what would actually happen to your body if you fell into one. Not the physics, the seconds. What you would feel, what you would see, what the people watching from the ship would see, and why those two stories do not match. It is a strange one. I think you will like it. I will see you there.